So this is going to be the basic layout for the hinges for the iakos. These are some 4-inch wide by 6-inch long steel, stainless steel plate 304 that I bought on eBay. I could have bought 4-inch wide strip and cut it on the bandsaw, but it was only a couple of dollars more to have this already pre-cut, and it actually looks pretty clean and nice and flat and smooth and nice cut, and they're all identical, so I'm pretty happy with that. Basically, this here is a piece of aluminum scrap from when I was CNCing the plates for Kong, and that's just going to be there to hold everything in place. I may wind up using steel for the actual welding, but the aluminum might be okay too. I haven't decided. But anyway, I've got these two plates here. They're going to have holes, 4 holes drilled in them, and I've got to be very careful when I machine the holes on here that they're all in the same spot on each plate, because there's going to be a bolt going through from one plate to the other, and I need to be pretty close for that to work. You notice that the two plates are flat on here, and there's a gap between them, and the cylinder for the hinge is actually going to go in that gap. And what that gives me is the ability to weld here, and to flip it over, there's going to be a little angled section there where I can fill it with weld on the back side as well. So it'll be easy to get it welded both ways. If I put it up here together like this and then put the cylinder on top, I wouldn't be able to weld on both sides, and welding on both sides is pretty important for this particular application. I haven't decided the number of fingers or cylinders, I don't know exactly what they're called, that I'm going to put in this. I can't make them too short because I need a good solid weld. Now, a real short weld with a gap on either end isn't as strong as a longer weld. So I'm leaning toward 1 inch, maybe slightly less than 1 inch, which would give me 4 to 5 to maybe 6 little cylinders here. There'll be a 1/4 inch stainless bolt going through it. There'll be a pin on the bottom one that'll be removable so that I can fold the iakos up. But this here, I will actually tap back down just slightly more so the threads go all the way, and I'll put a lock nut on it and saw that off, and it'll be nice and clean. I'm going to machine these on the lathe, drill a hole. I'm going to cut these on the bandsaw into the little tubes, and then I'm going to machine them on the lathe, drill a hole down the center of all the inner of all the little tubes, and then I will set them up, clamp them to a plate, maybe a steel plate, maybe this aluminum. Get everything lined up good. Weld the top alternately so that the hinge would actually bend. Flip it over and weld the bottom sections, and then pull everything apart. And I'll do that with a pin in it, of course, so that everything is held straight. So that's what I'm going to do for that. I'm going to start cutting these guys and machining them. Actually, probably I'm going to drill these holes. I haven't quite decided on the number of pins or number of cylinders I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and start drilling these holes in this guy for the 1/4 inch through bolts. These are the bolts going to go through the iakos, and actually through bolt into the solid blocks of wood on all the connection points. So this is about as strong as I can make it. This will definitely rip the end of the iako off before it breaks, and when I put the larger almonds on there, I think everything will still be just fine. I'm going to start working on that now. One thing I did do, since 304 stainless work hardens and I may very likely damage some bits when I'm drilling on the lathe, I bought a 10-pack of 1/4 inch bits. Ice thief steel, cobalt. A friend of mine once asked me why I have 2 drill presses. I have a big one, but I have a small one mainly, and I use it for the starting bit. It's kind of important to get it started right. These are perfectly centered on the lines I drew on there. Close enough for government. So now I'm going to drill a hole through it. I'll probably have to clean up the back, and I think I'm going to do this wet. You or PB Buster, where would you hide? Alright. This is actually PB Blaster. It doesn't actually do what it says. It's supposed to be a penetrating oil that cuts through everything, blah blah blah. It doesn't actually do that very well. Actually, acetone and transmission fluid works a lot better. WD-40 works better than that. But what it does make is a pretty good cutting fluid, and it's cheaper than the actual cutting fluid. So we'll use it for that. This is 304. It'll work hardened, so I need to keep some pressure on it, which means that it's hot and needs just a bit of lubrication. I don't usually use a lot of lubrication. Yes, I know my bit can go slower, but what I ran into is these belts up here don't have enough surface area. If I go to the smaller pulleys, it spins out. So I just go to a larger pulley and go a little faster. It's not really a big deal. These look perfectly lined up to the lines I drew, so I think it's going to be good. There we go. A little bit where it pushed through there. I'll hit that with the grinder. So these are what these look like after I tacked them together. The first one actually didn't come out all that great. I didn't have the amp set high enough, but I got it up. This actually looks really good. Got good penetration. I'm going to have to come back in here and add some material to these on this side, and then over here where I spot welded it together, I'm going to add on both sides of the spot weld. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these apart, put a bolt in them like that, and that'll keep any twisting from happening. And I will get these cleaned up. I'm going to fill this in and then grind it back flush on the back here. Of course here, you know, the extra material is not going to matter or anything. So I'm going to get to that, and I will probably put these on next week. But for today, I'm just going to finish welding these up.